Hello, how's everyone doing? We're gonna get started here shortly. Just setting a few things up still. But today we're gonna be drawing noses for a while, probably like 30 minutes or so, and then we're gonna jump into some bonus content, and we'll be doing some more sketching / drawing, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Now, let me know if the music is too loud. I might turn it down a little bit, so that way it's easy to hear me and it's easy to hear the backing track. And you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it down a little bit already, because I have a feeling it might be too loud. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn that down a little bit. Okay. So hopefully everybody's doing pretty well today. I'm going to wait just a little bit to see if anyone kind of trickles in. It's been a while since I've streamed, so I don't expect a big turnout, but I did want to go ahead and do some more drawing demos of how to draw noses and just go real time through it, and maybe give some more explanation as I do it, so you guys get a really good understanding of the form and structure of the nose and how you can simplify it, and yeah, just kind of talk through it and stuff. And so I'm going to go through all that content regardless if anyone shows up or not, because I know a lot of people end up watching this after it's posted and like while they're drawing, or just watch it on their own time. And that's what I do with a lot of other artists myself. Sometimes I can't make their streams, or I'm working, or it's a different time zone, so I'm sleeping while they're streaming, or whatever the case may be. And usually I'll just pull it up when I myself am drawing, and just kind of want to hear from that artist. So that's what we're going to be doing today for the most part. So yeah, we are going to be using a website called Sketch Daily. And basically I'm going to pull up a whole bunch of head references, and we're just going to break down the nose at all these different angles from all these different people. And we're first going to start with structure and building with form. And then in the later half, we're going to be talking about stylizing that form, and what are some different things you can do to simplify your nose when you're just drawing a comic or you're drawing a cartoon, right? You may not have to draw a super realistic nose. So that's going to be the agenda for the day. I'm going to go ahead and get started, so people that are watching this afterwards, they don't have to have a super long period to wait before we go ahead and get started. Okay, so the neat part about this website is that you can actually choose what specific thing that you're working on and drawing. Today we're doing noses, so we want to draw the head. And gender, it doesn't matter, so we're going to do all here. And view, we also do all, because you want to see the nose at different angles, right? So for the time, we're going to do, we're going to start with 5 minutes. And I will just pause if I feel like we need a little bit more time. And so yeah, let's just go ahead and take it from there, and let's go ahead and get started. So these first couple are really just going to be some like warm up. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and come to a blank part in this page. Let's see, what kind of tool do we want to use? I'm just gonna go ahead and use a pencil like brush. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in, get a better view of that. Okay, change this to our default. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually to start off with a circle to kind of represent the head shape. And I don't know if I'm going to do this for all the noses, but I want to show you guys just how we locate the nose. So we draw the angle of the head where the eyes are looking, and at this cross section we have a critical point right here, And if you remember from the video, we kind of make this pyramid, right, for this nose. We make this pyramid shape. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. It looks like a kite, right? So these are our important landmarks, and we also have an important landmark right here at the center. Okay, this is how we're going to start out our nose. So that's kind of how you locate it. That's a little small, so honestly I'm going to blow up the nose. But that's how you locate it. And the nice thing about working in Photoshop, you just have this nice little transform tool. So we're gonna go ahead and use that and do something like this. And we'll go ahead and apply that. And we're just gonna go ahead and make this a little bit lighter, right? We're just gonna go ahead and draw over this, okay? Okay, so the first thing that we do is we draw in the ball of the nose. Okay. Just a sphere, and it sits right in the center of this pyramid. Okay, so always draw on this ball of this nose first, and from this ball of the nose then we start developing our nostrils. So I just make some marks down here just to kind of get it started, but then I come through and I actually show kind of what's happening here. So there's this like I guess it's like either like skin or fat or cartilage that kind of sits down here at the bottom of the nose. And this kind of wraps around and in to form the nostril, and then it comes out like this, and we get this the wing of the nostril, right? The wing of the nostril coming off to the side right here, and it kind of tucks back in here, and this ball of the nose is protruding outwards, so it kind of overlaps it. So again, we even though you know you don't necessarily think of perspective while you're drawing like the face, perspective is still actually important, and what we're really focusing on is actually the overlap in perspective. And overlap is a great way to show basically what's in front and what's in behind. And as you can see, this ball of the nose, it protrudes outwards further than this wing of the nose, so you can actually see it kind of eclipse the wing of the nose, and you're really going to see it happen on this side even more. Okay, so it's actually that nostril that I started to draw in, we're like barely going to see that because the ball of the nose is actually going to kind of hide that right behind there. Also, welcome to anyone that's joining. Let me know where you're coming from. Say hey in the chat if you want to. You can lurk as well. But the idea of this live stream is to answer questions about how to draw the nose, tips, tricks, everything like that. So yeah. I also kind of want to know where you guys are coming from for the stream. Oops, I'm gonna go back one. I'm running out of time because I'm drawing a little bit too slow now, but yeah, where are you guys joining the stream from? Looks like we have the blue dragon joining. Another YouTube creator that's pretty phenomenal. So what's up? How's it going? Blue Dragon says, hey yo, game got canceled, so I thought I'd pop in. Oh, dang, that's unfortunate. What game were you gonna be playing tonight? Were you supposed to be playing? Okay, so now I'm going to draw this bottom plane of this nose. And it's so important to draw that sphere at first, because I just want to show that like the bottom plane of this nose really follows the contour of that sphere. Now remember when I was teaching about form that it's important to draw the contours on the surface of whatever volume you're creating, because then you can understand its form and its volume. Okay, so once you really get good at drawing those contours and developing that form, you can apply that to anything, including drawing noses. So the sphere was behind right here, and since this line is halfway or below the halfway point, you can see this line kind of curving downwards. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop this in just to give this a little bit more form. Now I will go ahead and say that when drawing noses by themselves, they look funny. There's no like easy way around that. So when you're drawing them, don't get caught up too much on whether or not you think it looks funny or not. Just go ahead and draw what you see and just try to get the form to the best of your ability. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek at the chat real quick. Alright, so Blue Dragon's playing Pathfinder. We have a semi-weekly game. Pathfinder sounds really familiar. I don't know if I've played it personally, but it sounds like a really familiar name. Can you just basics? What's the kind of like goal of it? Okay, again, we're starting off with this basic pyramid shape, and that's what I want you guys to always start off with when drawing the nose. I mean, you can start off with other shapes if you want, but I feel like this shape is so simple, yet it represents so much of the information of the nose, and so that's how we're going to begin it. Again, I'm going to make this a little bit lighter because I'm going to go ahead and draw over on top. After we draw on that ball, or I'm sorry, that pyramid, we go ahead and draw the ball of the nose. We're basically, that's where like the tip of the nose is. You can think of the ball of the nose as like the tip of the nose. Also, Blue Dragon, can you tell me if my audio is too loud right now? Go ahead and let me know. Alright, so Pathfinder, I think it's like a version of D&D, which is, if I am correct, that is Dungeons and Dragons, which I have also not played, but I know the basic kind of gameplay style. And I've actually always wanted to give Dungeons and Dragons a shot because it's so big, it's so popular, and I like games where people are like really into it, because then it makes playing it more just enjoyable when, you know, people are really excited about playing it. And also, I haven't really done too much like card type games, you know, like I'm pretty big into video games and all that kind of jazz, but have not really gotten to the card game scene, just mainly because I don't know the people, you know. I feel like with card games you have to have like that community of players, you know, that are interested in meeting up, and I could probably find that online, but I guess I've been too lazy, huh? Gotta look into that. Okay, I'm over here drawing eyes, and we're not supposed to be drawing eyes, but really the nose can be super simple, and sometimes you can draw the nose really fast, and you know, it's not a whole bunch to it, especially when you get to simplification. And that can be the hard part about drawing noses. Sometimes you can like kind of overdo them because they are so simple, and so you just kind of keep adding and adding and that kind of stuff. What I'm going to do in this case is actually just add a little bit of shading. And again, I want to show you guys this bottom plane, because in this picture you can actually see the shading underneath the nose. And I just want to show you guys how it reinforces what I was telling you about drawing this bottom plane here. It follows the contour of that sphere, right? And notice how that shadow, you know, just sits right beneath it. Of course, depending on where the lighting is coming from is going to change where the shadow is, but generally it falls beneath the nose in most typical lighting, so that's usually a pretty safe spot to put it. So we're gonna go ahead and put it there. Okay, here you go. There's another nose for you. Yeah, later on in this video we're gonna talk about probably gonna talk about like making stylizations for noses and stuff. I feel like you guys might be interested in that, since, you know, I would imagine some of my viewers are comic makers. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe that's the reason for creating this channel, is for other people that are making comics and to give them the tools and skills to be able to do so. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and move on. So for this one, I am not going to draw the whole face, but I will show you guys the cross sections of the face so that we can know the angle of this nose. Okay, so her head is kind of tilted slightly up, and she kind of has her head slanted downwards like this. Okay, so this cross section is actually pretty important in determining how this nose looks, because you can just base this nose off that cross section, and then we can start building this pyramid. Okay, so to me it kind of looks like we're looking down at her a little bit. So when that's the case, this bottom portion of the pyramid gets smaller and smaller. That means we see less of the bottom of the nose. Okay, so that's what that's kind of telling me right there. Now, the center of this nose is actually maybe more protruded than I initially showed, so I'm going to make that point out a little bit more, and we're going to do something like this. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the chat again, so I can make sure that I'm balancing both. Answering questions and drawing, guys, we're doing it all. How much more time we got on this one? We got 3 minutes. That's plenty of time. Noses are easy. All right, cool. It sounds like music is at a good level. We're gonna keep it there. Blue Dragon says it's pretty fun, but I'm a bit shy, so I usually only play with people I know well. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to gaming, I like to game with people that I know. Like, there's some online multiplayer games, like video game wise, that I've played with other people, but I honestly like gaming usually with like family. Like when it comes to like board games and like card games and stuff, like usually during the holidays, all my siblings and I will, you know, usually all meet up for the holidays, right? So at that point, let me go ahead and draw on this ball of this nose really quickly. Gotta follow my own advice. Okay, so we're gonna dash that in there. So yeah, usually I'm playing with siblings when it comes to that kind of thing. But when it comes to video games, I'm a little bit more, I guess, lax on that, and I play with strangers, but I honestly don't play a lot of video games right now. I gotta say, work and art and all the different kind of hobbies that I have keep me pretty busy. But when I did play video games, I like playing everything. I like playing first-person shooter. I like playing strategy. One of my favorite games of all time was Advance Wars. And also, I just heard they're doing a reboot of it. And it's very much kind of like a card game in the fact that, you know, it's turn-based and there's a lot of strategy involved, and you got different stats. So it's kind of like, as you can imagine, it's a war type game. It's called Advance Wars. But yeah, I played that a lot as a kid for my Game Boy Advance. That was a lot of fun. And they're making a reboot of it, so I don't know. We'll see if it's any good or not. But that is a fun game. Anyways, more recently, my brothers and I have been trying to find a video game that we can all kind of come together and play. And, you know, maybe during the weekend and stuff, when I have a little bit more free time, we're gonna do something like that. Okay, I really like to draw eyes, so I shouldn't bother with that though. We're just drawing the nose. Okay, so in this picture, I kind of just want to point out like the shading of the nose. Well, I guess the picture just disappeared, but let me go back just for a second. That you know, once you have the form down, then the next big important part is determining your lighting. And so even if you don't put in the shading, at least make note of the lighting, and the lighting is coming from this direction, and you can tell that because there's a bunch of shading on this side of the nose. Okay, and so this shading can really help you push the form of the nose. Okay, so I don't know, I just want you guys to make note of that, whether or not you actually go in and do the shading. At least use your lines to show the contour and form. Typically, I mean, some comics have some really beautiful art and they go all in for the shading. Most artists are probably going to stick to either just like black and white or maybe some simple colors, and so the importance of that line work really shows through then, and not so much the shading. But as you're practicing, you can use that shading to just get a better idea of the volume and everything going on there. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to this next nose. Now this nose is pretty straight on, but I do think it's interesting because we haven't done a nose. Oh, hopefully I had the noses on screen while I was drawing them, and that you guys could see that. Let me check check my broadcaster, make sure everything's visible right now. Oops, it's not letting me overlap that. Let's do this. Let's bring this to, uh-oh. I hope my broadcast is actually still broadcasting. I'm getting some lag here. Okay, we're just gonna hope for the best. Hopefully you guys can still see stuff. We'll see. Oh, thanks Blue Dragon. Yeah, I hope the reboot is good too. I mean, it's just a remake of the game, so I imagine they can't mess it up. The only thing they changed was the graphics, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a fan of the pixel art. I like pixel art, and even if you check out my Instagram, it's not. I would be very wary of calling it pixel art, because like pixel artists will probably come out and like, yeah, that what you're doing is not pixel art. But I do like actually seeing pixels in artwork, and that's what I kind of do sometimes, especially when it's just like sketches and things like that. I like seeing pixel art, and the pixel art for the original Advance Wars games were really good. And I don't know, I kind of miss that. But anyways, they just redid the graphics. It's gonna be the same game from what I'm aware. Okay, so anyways, head-on shot. That means there's no curvature to these lines, really. I mean, his head is tilted, so we can try to represent that a little bit with this line being tilted, right? Anyways, we go ahead and draw in that pyramid shape. And this time I actually want to show something really quickly. Okay, now if you have two eyes, I'm going to show you guys how you can locate the nose. Imagine you have two eyes. These are going to be really rough eyes, but the eyes and the nose make this triangle shape. Okay, so if you're trying to locate like the bottom of the nose or something like that, you can make that triangle shape, and that can help you locate some things, right? So kind of think about that triangle shape of the nose while you're drawing the nose, but also think of the triangle shape that's created between the relationship between the nose and the eyes. Okay, so when you're drawing, you need to start understanding the flow of things, and that's going to help you out. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit lighter, and we're going to go ahead and draw on the top of it. Actually, before that, let's go ahead and draw on the ball of the nose, which is going to sit just about, that's not center. And notice, guys, I struggle at drawing a circle. You do not have to know how to draw a circle to draw. It's good to do your fundamentals and stuff, but don't get stuck on them. If you can't do something, just keep moving forward. And fake it till you make it, okay? There's plenty of things that I can't draw, but at the end of the day, sometimes it kind of just comes out pretty well. Oh, and I just want to make sure you guys could see like what I was actually drawing on the screen. To answer your question, Blue Dragon. And I'm happy that the reference is also being shown too. If it's a little small, if the reference is a little small, I guess let me know. Let's see if I can zoom in on his face a little bit. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's not doing anything. Well, hopefully it's big enough to see the reference. Okay, I'm gonna need to put this on pause for a little bit because I've been talking so much and not drawing enough. Yo, what's up, Nia? Daniels, how long will you be streaming? I'm not going to be streaming any later than 10. My goal is to stop streaming around 9:30. The plan is to draw a whole bunch of noses from real life, and then we're gonna work on stylizing them, and then I'm gonna work on some just bonus content art. Because I haven't really been able to just draw some stuff for fun. So we're gonna do a little bit of that tonight as well. So about an hour. We got about an hour left, so hopefully that's enough time to hop in and do some drawings with us. We got some chill music. That's right, today is just a chill drawing day. And I can keep explaining the process, or you guys can ask me specific questions on what I'm thinking about while I'm drawing these noses. Now on this reference specifically, I want to point out, see that ball of that nose? You can see the shadow pretty pronounced because this ball of the nose kind of overlaps this wing over here. And I'm sure if you've like looked at a whole bunch of like comics, especially when it comes to like Marvel, DC stuff, you're gonna see this portion of the nose that I already drew. They will usually kind of leave it like that, and then they might add in just like some lines near the top of the bridge of the nose, right? And kind of call it at that. Okay, so. And this is the most important part to draw and kind of understand and make look pretty good. But the nose it can be really simple. It doesn't have to be complex, even if you're drawing it realistically. Because the thing is the nose is made up of a lot of soft edges and not a lot of hard edges, so we have to be really subtle with our lines. Otherwise, we'll get a really weird looking nose. You'll get a nose with like just too many lines, and if all those lines are like dark, then it's gonna start to look like really weird. when you're drawing the entire thing, especially if you draw lines on either side of the nose to show the bridge of the nose. Typically, you know, artists are going to draw a line on either side of this bridge of the nose to represent where the shadow is kind of coming in. So we got to be really subtle about the changes in the nose and the lines to make it look pretty good. Okay, now this nostril is actually tucked up a little bit higher, so we're going to go ahead and draw that tucked up a little bit higher. Alright, and also let me know about the pacing. If I'm going too fast, too slow, then let me know. Also, what is up, Eyesore? I said hi. Hey, how are you doing? I asked Blue Dragon when she came into the stream, but I'm kind of curious, where are you guys joining the stream from? What country? What continent? You don't have to get specific. I don't want people to know where you guys live. I just want to know general area, just for the fun of it. This is just a chill stream. Learning how to draw the nose. You know, even if you're an expert at this, you still have to come in and study different nose shapes and everything, right? So for this one, I really need to draw this center line, the vertical center line, to really understand the shape, and then this horizontal center line. Let's go ahead and drop in as well. And while you're doing this, try to understand the difference between kids and adults. Do their noses change? Not too much. You know, they can change. They will change, but not too much difference. Okay. And I'll go ahead and look back at the chat. Eyesore asks, do you study and memorize each muscle of the face, or do you really just have to use shapes? That's a really good question. So personally, I am not a fan of learning too much about the muscles and memorizing each muscle. I like to group things together, and I like to simplify them into shapes. Now, it's really good to understand that, and I think what's important even at a beginner stage is to understand how the muscles are pulling the face to create different facial expressions. And it doesn't have to be at a very deep level. You know, just, you know, even go into the mirror and just feel how your face tenses up to do different expressions and things of the nature, okay? So just get a feeling for, you know, your muscles. Don't get too crazy with it in terms of like, oh, I know every single muscle and how it pulls, you know, every single different facial feature on the face. It's not that important yet. As you advance with art, and you know, it's kind of like this process that I'm using right now, right? I'm starting with a big shape, and then I'm going further into the details. Okay, so when you're first starting to learn drawing, don't go straight into the details. Actually spend a lot of time breaking these shapes down and adding, work on adding in detail, but don't let that be your main focus. And also when you're creating comics, too much detail can be a bad thing. Now, if your comic is really realistic and going for really realistic style, then you're going to need to train that even harder, right? But sometimes adding so much detail can be distracting. Actually, it can be a negative, and so you need to know when to use detail, and that's when the idea of composition is going to come into play. And we're gonna be doing a whole series about composition. But yeah, I don't think you need to memorize it. I think that if you have some general big shapes and you understand those, and you really understand how those big shapes work in 3D and you can visualize them in 3D, that's a good start. When you get down to the nitty-gritty details, I would pull up a reference until you're just like a super master expert and you've been drawing for like years and years and you know how all the anatomy works. Don't stress yourself out trying to memorize everything. Feel free to practice it, feel free to like understand it a little bit and study it, but don't try to memorize it at this point. Okay, the things that I focus on memorizing, and I guess I shouldn't say that advice like, oh yeah, definitely don't do that. You know, do what you want to do, obviously. But what I recommend, what I do is I take it one step at a time. And the step that I'm at right now is really just understanding the big shapes, okay? And so that way I can draw from imagination. Now this series is really about how to draw things from your imagination, right? So once you do a lot of these types of studies that we're doing right now today, with drawing the noses, you're going to be able to draw the nose without having to look at a reference, right? I'm just kind of drawing along with you guys, just to kind of show what the practice kind of looks like, okay? I don't know, I kind of rambled on. Hopefully maybe that was helpful a little bit. But yeah, sometimes I see like people stressing study anatomy. Studying anatomy is great and all, but you also have to know what you're trying to study from the anatomy and like how. And so that's why I'm trying to like create these videos just one step at a time, so I can try to show the important landmarks of anatomy. Okay, so real quick with this nose, we're looking from below a little bit. So guess what? This bottom portion of the pyramid gets much bigger as compared to like this one right here, where we didn't really get to see the bottom plane. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to know, that perspective and head tilt is very important when drawing the nose. Okay, we draw on the ball right here. Yes, I'm excited for the composition series as well, but I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take a moment. We're gonna go through the I know I just said don't study anatomy too much and focus on the big picture, but we're gonna go through the anatomy of the entire body, but while doing it, I'm gonna simplify it as much as I can, stylize it as much as I can, break it down as much as I can. But anyways, after we do that, we're gonna then focus on drawing the entire human body from imagination. Now that we know all the anatomy, how all the parts are connected, we're gonna drill drawing from imagination, and then composition comes right after that, because now we can take these figures that we've developed and we can move them around in space, and then we can start adding in backgrounds. And so compositions and backgrounds are going to be kind of hand in hand as well. So there will be a series on backgrounds too. So if you struggle with drawing backgrounds, we're going to begin into it. Okay, again, this ball, this nose is so important. I would bring this photo into Photoshop just to show how important this ball is, but you can even look at the shading and you can see how round the shading is, like right here, and then it gets straighter coming up the bridge of the nose. Okay. And today we got some chill music to help you guys relax as we go through this, right? There's no rush. Even if you can even pause this live stream and take a look at the picture more and study it a little bit more in detail. And when I'm sketching, I don't try to get the line right per se. I just put a line down. And if you make a mistake, it's like, okay, well then I know I need to put the line somewhere else. Erase, put the line somewhere else, right? This is practice. You know, we're not drawing in front of a live audience, you know what I mean? Well, I am, but you're not drawing in front of a live audience. And when you're practicing, you're not drawing in front of a live audience. Okay. So I think we're going to do maybe one or two more noses before we talk about we start talking about how we can stylize the nose. Okay. Again, keep it really simple. Erase away some of the edges that you don't need. Again, at the end I like drawing in this bottom plane and adding in a little bit of shading. Okay. It doesn't need to look like too much. I know noses, they look a little silly. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about drawing noses? What's like the most challenging part, or when you learn to draw nose, if you're really good at drawing noses right now, what was something that gave you trouble when you started learning how to draw noses? What are some aha moments you guys had? And obviously if you're drawing along, you don't have to pause your drawing and type it out, but if you are just watching, then I would be curious. And guys, even when I'm drawing in a stylized way, I still really like to use this pyramid shape. It's really helpful. Okay, so when we're at a side view like this, I personally like to focus on the bridge and the edge of the nose that goes over the bulb and then in. That gives it a lot of character, and everybody's nose can be different. Okay. So maybe in the next one I'll kind of exaggerate the nose, but let's just go ahead and try to follow what we have in front of us right now. Alright, because you don't always have to follow exactly what your reference is. Your reference is just kind of a guide, right? And when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking of the flow. Now remember, this edge of this wing lies on that edge of that pyramid you drew. And there's this flow that happens between this edge and this nostril, and how this bulb kind of comes up and wraps back into the nostril, but the actual nostril is created from this opening, and so you want that nostril opening to be higher than this bottom plane right here. Okay, so I'm always kind of looking at that flow while I'm drawing the nose. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and draw this bottom plane, slight shading. Okay, that's it, guys. It's really as easy as that. Notice in this one that since this is so much turned to the side, that we don't even see the other nostril, and so that's something to take note of while you're drawing the nose. That pay attention to how angled the nose is away from you, because this nostril on this other side gets more and more obfuscated. I don't know. There's a word. That's a word or something, I think. I don't know. And if you do see it, you can just kind of make it a shadow or something like that, okay? Simple, simple. Okay. I'll give you guys a little bit more time to finish this nose if you need a little bit more time. And I'll look at the chat for a second. So Blue Dragon says, I think worm's eye view and just the tip of the nose from the front were my stumbling blocks. Yeah, both of those are really challenging, and the reason for me for drawing the nose head on and why that was a challenge is that in the side view you have that edge to really go off of. When you're going straight on, head on, then the center of the nose, the tip of the nose, it doesn't really have any defining lines, right? So you kind of have to make one up, you know? And so we're gonna get into that when it comes to stylizing, but that can be kind of hard to make look right. So that's why this nose might be a good example. You know, you kind of just draw the edge of the bulb a little bit that's overlapping the wing on like one side, and that's what I kind of meant by having to be really subtle with that. And then drawing the nose from worm's eye is just difficult because you don't see that often. Right? I mean, I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Most people aren't looking up other people's noses. So yeah. Okay, so for this one, we've drawn a whole bunch of noses. Let's just kind of have fun with this one. And let's start exaggerating the proportions and stuff. And, you know, let's try not following the actual photo reference and making some of the proportions larger, smaller, whatever the case may be. Okay, so how can we do this? Okay, well, there's a couple ways. One way is the ball of the nose, right? You can make that bigger or smaller. In this case, we'll make it pretty small. Why not? Okay. Another thing that you can change is also like the width of the nose. You can have a really wide nose or you can have a really narrow nose. Let's just go with the really narrow nose. So we're actually going to bring this in more. So the edges of the nose, we're going to bring this in. And then the second is kind of like the ridge of the nose. And also if the nose is pointed up or pointed down. So those are the main characteristics. Why not for this one make this nose really pointed up? So we take that ball of that nose and we raise it. Again, we said we're going to make it pretty small, so we're going to keep the circle small, right? So now the nose is going to be pointed upwards. And let's have her have like a sharp nose, right? So this might come out a little funky, but that's the point of experimenting, you know what I mean? And sketching. There's nothing that says that, you know, this picture has to be really good looking or really pretty looking. It's you experimenting on the page, real time. You know, no one needs to see your sketchbook. Okay, and so now that we made this nose more up, we're going to make this nostril more extended, something like this, right? Same thing with the other side, but we're going to keep the wing of the nose pretty far down, and you know, we're going to create something like this. Okay, so again, once you understand the building blocks, you can change the proportions of those building blocks and still have a functional, realistic looking nose, while still deviating completely from your reference. And once you can do something like this and make it look decent, which in this case it's not like super good looking, but once you can kind of do that and stylize a photo, then you're kind of getting really close to just being able to draw it from imagination, right? Okay, So let's go ahead and draw some shading in for underneath the nose. The nostril on this side is honestly kind of wonky. I kind of did that wrong, but it's alright. We can go in and fix that. So it's gonna look something like that. Okay. So now you can, you can have fun with it. You can design your own nose, and that's important when creating characters, because do not have the same face syndrome when creating comics. Even if you're creating stylized noses, try to still have differences in your stylized noses to give each character some life and some difference. Okay. Now I wonder if we can get a worm's eye view of the nose, just so you can kind of practice that, because none of these have been necessarily extreme angles. So let's go find some extreme angles and maybe do one from the top and one from the bottom and just kind of see what happens. So I don't know, nose bottom view. Let's see what comes up. Hopefully all safe searches. Okay, cool. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, all right, so this is from extreme bottom. Okay, but this is actually kind of important to draw this view, so we kind of understand what's happening down there in the bottom plane. Okay, so this one looks fine. Okay, so we have our pyramid. So let me just go ahead and draw our pyramid. This is our pyramid head on, correct? Also, let me know in the comments if there is anything in specific you want to see about drawing noses or a breakdown of a specific part. Okay, so anyways, that's the pyramid we basically build the nose off of. We are now going to be looking at this from the bottom. So what kind of happens with this, right? So from the bottom, this pyramid's going to rotate up so that this top part is now going to kind of be, we're going to get some foreshortening. Okay, so the shape is going to be something like that. But now this bottom plane is cutting off that nose. Okay, and okay, here's this vertical center line coming down, and we're kind of, cutting the bottom off. So I don't know if this kind of makes sense to you guys, but hopefully you guys can kind of see that 3D form kind of happening. I'm just gonna go ahead and make that bigger. Okay, so we're building off the same pyramid shape, but in this case I want to kind of point out the fact that this pyramid shape doesn't necessarily isn't necessarily like super accurate. Okay, so let me also Control T this again, because this needs to be crap. This needs to come up more kind of like this. Okay, that's okay. Sorry guys, this is really slow trying to stream and draw at the same time. My Photoshop gets really slow. Okay, that should suffice. Okay, hopefully you guys understand where these lines are coming from this pyramid shape. If this is a little bit tricky to you, just practice drawing this pyramid at different angles and just get comfortable with it. Maybe just spend 15 minutes one day or 2 days or a couple of days, get used to this pyramid shape. The more comfortable you are with these primitive 3D shapes, the more comfortable you're going to be able to see these shapes in your brain, which is going to help you to draw from imagination, and it's going to also help you create organic shapes in your brain. So try to understand a simple shape like this a little bit. Okay, so now when I said that this shape isn't completely accurate to the nose, because look how the attachment, you know, for the nose to the mouth, it's actually kind of curved, and we can see that curvature now in the bottom view more and more. Okay, so this bottom line actually needs to be more so curved. And look at the direction of this curve. This is an upside down curve, and guess what, we're in worm's eye view. Okay, so notice how all these curves, even in the nostrils, have this upside down view. Okay, let me go ahead and make that a little bit bigger on the screen here so you guys can see what we're looking at. Okay. So this ball of the nose still sits up here. It always sits at the point of the nose, right? And notice how the ball of the nose, in every single drawing that I did, it doesn't cover the entire span of the nose. Like, it doesn't go out to the wings, okay? Notice how it falls short. And it differs based on whose nose it is. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, okay? So anyways, we get that ball of that nose in, and now we can really understand this kind of skin that's in between, that separates these two nostrils, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and show that, and it kind of wraps in, and we're gonna draw the shape of the nostril. And notice how it's kind of this all these curves are kind of using this upside down curved line that looks like a frowny face because we're looking in our worm's eye, right? Okay, so that's enough for the nostrils for now. We'll go back and detail that more. The next thing we're gonna do is then focus on their wings. And our wings, again, go to this edge. And this is the interesting part because just based on like how we're viewing it, we're not getting the same necessarily shape as we were before, right? Okay, and then the rest, the skin kind of comes up and then comes over the bulb of the nose, and so we have something like this, okay? That's going to represent our nose. Okay, for our nostrils, it looks like I need to bring them up just a little bit higher and have the lines go backwards out from the center a little bit more. Okay, so this is a nice thing from drawing for reference. You get to correct your mistakes as you go, and when you correct a mistake, then you're like, oh, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So next time you draw this nose from this bottom view, you're going to have a better idea of what you're drawing and what you're doing. Okay, and if you really want to commit this to memory, then after you draw it from reference, don't look at the reference and don't look at the drawing you just drew, and try drawing it again from what you know now. Okay, so that's a drawing exercise I honestly should do more of myself because it's super helpful. I remember like kind of discovering it and I was like, oh, I should be doing this all the time. So do that exercise if you want to learn how to draw from your imagination quickly. And okay, so the reason why this this view is so hard to draw, I think personally, is that it doesn't look like much. You know, if you just look at this, then you're like, what is that? But if you see it in the context of a face and you understand the face, then it looks pretty good. And there's a lot of times in drawing where that's the case. Sometimes drawing like feet by itself can look really weird. Sometimes drawing hands by itself can look really weird. But it's with everything combined does it really look good. Okay, so let me just do a quick demo of, you know, how you can practice this again, going straight from your imagination. We're just gonna turn everything off. I'm not gonna look at the second screen. In fact, I'm just gonna minimize it just for now. Let's see if this works. So you guys can't see it either. Let me give it a second because there's a little bit of lag. So I wanna make sure that it turns off for the stream. Okay, it does. Okay, so let's try drawing that again. What did we do? We started with our pyramid shape, okay? And since we're looking from the bottom, really we only get to see kind of this part, and this was coming down to the top of it. So we had something kind of like this, okay? That was our pyramid shape. Okay, I remember that. Then we had to curve this bottom line because we're looking from the bottom and this pyramid shape wasn't accurate enough to really get the shape we needed. Okay, then we added the ball of the nose. We made sure that the ball of the nose came to the tip of the nose, but that the edges did not extend past the wings. Okay, then what did we do? Then we decided, okay, let's go ahead and drop in our nostrils. Our nostrils came up and kind of came up to the ball of the nose, but just kind of sat at the edge of it, you know what I mean? And the same thing on the other side, okay? And so we drew in our nostrils, right? And then we drew in the wings of our nose, and they kind of came up and over and hit this ball. The skin kind of wrapped around. Same thing for this side. Came around, up and over, and did something like this, right? And then we can just play around with the shape. Now that ball of the nose can be further out, further in. It just depends on the character, okay? Something like that is going to be fine for what we're doing right now, though. But then again, we didn't use any reference, right? Because we understood the steps and we understood the shapes. And so we were able to build it back up fairly easy without having to use a reference, okay? Okay, so it's 9:12. We're gonna go ahead and talk about stylizing the nose a little bit. And with this, we're gonna kind of go back and take some photo references, or we're gonna stylize, and then maybe I was thinking it might be fun to take some popular manga and see how popular manga artists do some nose drawings. So, for anyone that is still watching, please leave the name of your favorite manga artist, and we're gonna draw a nose from them, and we're gonna see how maybe they constructed the nose, and let's go ahead and kind of get that rolling. But before we get to that, you guys have a little bit of time to go ahead and put that information in the chat if you are interested in participating in that way. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about how to stylize the nose. And so we're going to go ahead and bring back up our real life reference. Okay. And let's go right on ahead. Okay, so we start with our crosshairs one more time. I know you guys are getting tired of that, but it's important. We're gonna draw on our basic shape again. you know, the more you do this, the more loose you can be with it, and it doesn't have to be super accurate. Okay, the nose protrudes outwards, and then we have our ball of the nose. Okay, so that's our basic stuff every time. We get that, right? We're experts at that. You're experts at that. I trust you guys. Now we are talking about stylizing, making it cartoons. So there's a couple ways you can go about this. Okay. The first way, let me just draw it on a different layer, because maybe I'll just draw over the same layer a few times. The most cartoon, the most cartoon/anime way is to draw this horizontal center line as a dark bold line. And what that basically looks like is that you take this center line, and instead of it being a straight line, you just slightly curve it to the point, and slightly curve it back in. Okay, so this is the most basic nose that we can create, but it is based off of our form that we've developed. And you'll actually notice that not in all cartoons, not in all anime, but a large majority of them, especially those that are like semi-realistic, so if you're interested in semi-realism, they're going to base it off of this form, but they're just going to go ahead and simplify the lines down. Okay, so another step that a few artists might take is they'll add in, instead of the wings, they're just going to add in the nostrils, and they're going to add the nostrils sitting right here where we would actually draw those nostrils in. Okay, except they just don't draw the wings, they just draw the nostril in. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so that's a very anime cartoon nose. Some people take it a step further and draw that outside edge of the pyramid as kind of their shadow line, and they will kind of create something like this, and they'll go ahead and add shading on this side of the nose. Okay, so this is very popular in anime. So that's one way to simplify. Okay. Some of them will add a little line down here to represent the edge of the nose, but they keep it really simple, right? So this is kind of a semi-realism approach that a lot of artists use. Okay. Let me show you another approach that a lot of artists use. We're going to use the same base drawing. Yo, what is up, Christian James? How is it going? I'm trying to remember if I've seen you in a stream before, or if I know you from Instagram, so let me know if you're on Instagram or if you've been at another one of my streams. Oh, also we got an artist that we're going to be looking at, and the name is Hiromu Arakawa. Now, for me, for some reason I'm thinking Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know if that is right or not. We'll see. I'm not good with manga artist names, but we're going to type it in. We are going to do some drawings from that artist. I want to show you guys one other way to simplify the nose, and that is basically to focus on this lower region of the nose. And this is going to be slightly cartoony, but actually more on the realistic side of things. So again, we kind of drop in our nostril and our wings like this. You know, other nostril on the other side, wings, and basically for this style they'll kind of make this bottom part of the nose just like closed off, and they don't even worry about the bridge of the nose really. They'll kind of make this kind of shape, and this is the second style of kind of cartoon nose. So I see this often as well, and look how simple that is, and look how easy that is to draw. and then of course you can add some shading on top of that. Okay, so just wanted to get you guys started on the different ways that we can be stylizing. Okay, so let's look at how professional manga artists are stylizing the nose to make it simple to draw, but also to reinforce the style that they have. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we've got going on. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up, Christian. It's been a while since I've streamed, and I do apologize for that. I am very much out of practice, very much out of tune right now, but it is very good to see some familiar faces here. All right, so we're gonna look up Hiromu Arakawa. Yeah, simple shapes and forms. That is what we as comic artists are all about. We're about simplifying, we're about making our life easy. Awesome, I was correct. It is Fullmetal Alchemist. Awesome. Okay. Oh my goodness, yeah, look at, okay, let's just go ahead and type in, now that I know it's the correct series. Let's go ahead and look at some of these noses, and you guys are gonna be blown away by the simplicity, but it's like her style is so awesome. She got, let's go to the manga, because I think we'll get some good stuff from there. We'll just like look at some pages. Okay, so honestly, this is probably the most detailed her noses get when drawing a character, right? And this is for like cover art. Okay, so let's break this nose down first, right? Because this is honestly the hardest thing that she's got. But guess what? It looks good, and you can still see the form and the structure, even though it's so very simplified. Okay, so first of all, we go ahead and draw on that cross section like we were doing before. Let's go ahead and draw on that pyramid shape, but let's also kind of modify it a little bit to match kind of what we see here. So what are we doing? Okay, so this is pretty close. Now the way she draws noses, they're much more like shorter. If you notice, all the noses we were drawing before, they were longer. Okay, so that's point number one to go ahead and take away. I'll just use the eraser to make this lighter. Just go ahead and lighten these lines a little bit. Okay, look at this. It's so simple. She goes off of that same form, but she uses one line to contour the edge of the nose, and a second line coming down, and just a little lip right there at the bottom of that nose. Okay, so that's it. And her nostril is really tiny. Okay, so that's something you can stylize. You can make nostrils big, you can make them really tiny. She makes them really tiny. She makes them honestly just like a line, a curved line. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here, all right, because we're following her style. And she really emphasizes the bottom shadow of the nose, and she goes in, and again, look how this edge curves. That's based on that sapphire. She didn't draw the sapphire, and obviously this isn't a realistic nose, obviously, but she still took that principle of this bottom of the nose, following that contour of the bulb of the nose. Even though, look how pointy this part of the nose is. Look how it's like a mountain peak. This part of the nose is super pointy. However, she still knows that there's this volume behind the nose, and so when she drops in this shading, this shadow, she'll follow that contour. And look how similar the shape is for this bottom edge of this nose, right? You can go to other noses that we've drawn today. Let's see if I can find one that's in that kind of angle. I don't know if I did that angle, but look at this. You just swoop in, swoop down. Okay, that's how you draw the shadow line of this edge, right? It's swoop, swoop. Okay, and she is using that same technique and just simplifying it, right? And like Christian James said, simplification is best. Really, you don't need to go overboard with adding details, especially when you're drawing cartoons, right? So that's it. That's all there is for a nose, okay? And then I even want to show further that when it comes to the manga, when it's just black and white, I want to show how even more simple it gets. Let's see. Can we like make this bigger? Let's see. Let's click on a different one. I don't know. Let's see if we can make it bigger, maybe. No. Let me click on the actual image and open it in a new page. Hold on, guys. All right. All right. And while I'm doing this, do you guys have any other artists that you really like? And we can take a look at their noses and just break down what they're doing. We're gonna do a maximum of one more, so if someone else has another suggestion, we can look at another artist too. But yeah, look at this nose. I'm not even, well, let's still draw the cross section. Okay, so you know, we draw this this pyramid in because that is the shape that we are getting used to and that we're working from, right? So that's our basis, right? Let's go ahead and just make these lines lighter. Look what she does here. She just takes the very bottom of the nose, right? Keeps the proportion, you know, but just takes the bottom of the nose and she just shows a shadow on the one side. And guys, that's it. That's all there is to it. She does that, and then she's got a little speck for the nostril, where the nostril should be. That's it. That's all you need. Sometimes, you know, if that's your style, right? So you guys have you really have a large range of nose styles, and you can create your own fairly easy, right? But just start with that basic shape. Learn to stylize, learn to simplify, and simplify in your own way. That's what's going to give you your unique style, but it's going to be based on actual form, and it's going to look good when you're drawing at multiple angles. So that's honestly the gist of drawing noses. If you struggle with drawing noses or in different angles, just take a day to do those angles that are really giving you trouble. Because I remember I was not so great at drawing noses, and then one day I was like, I'm just going to draw a bunch of realistic noses. And I did, and then I kind of just understood it from that point on, and whenever I drew that angle again, I was like, I know this. I got this, right? So it's really as simple as that. Alright, we've got a request to look at Dragon Ball Super. So we're going to go ahead and look at Dragon Ball Super. Apparently there's a lot of form to it, so that should be fun, interesting. That should give us something to kind of draw. And then after that, guys, we're going to be moving into just, you know, just some fun drawings. And so if you have any questions about noses at this point, I would go ahead and ask them now. I will still answer them even if I'm just in the next section of drawing. Alright, so Dragon Ball Super. And I can't spell. Ugh. Dragon Ball Super, come on. Okay, let's actually type in noses just to see if we can get a little bit more specific. Okay, yeah, they do got a lot of form. Oh, this is an interesting look at it because it really shows the shadow of the nose and how they're showing the form and the pointiness. That's a cool page. Okay, anyways, let's type in manga. Let's look at the manga pages. See if we can get some good faces. Let's type in manga panel. Usually when they're like doing a close-up or like shouting or screaming, they'll usually have some good panels for that type of stuff. Let's try like close-up. Okay, this one's kind of interesting because it's kind of like from below a little bit, and that's actually pretty detailed. See if we can get that open. Ugh. I don't like when they take me to a website and then I can't even see the thing. It's open image in new tab. How about that? There we go. Now zoom in. Okay. Oh wow, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff right there. Okay, and let's see if we can grab one more nose. I think I saw one in this. Yeah, this is interesting enough, I guess. Okay, so again, simple does it. Open image in new tab, sure. There we go. So again, even these manga artists that, you know, have a lot of style and are super stylized, notice how this is still based on form. I think one of the biggest sins, okay, that beginners make is that they don't realize this and they think that manga noses are just this and they just draw that, you know, wherever they want to. And it's like you can kind of get away with that, but look at this shot, right? When the shot is underneath the nose, what are you gonna do with this, right? That's not quite what the nose looks like. And even in this really stylized manga, you can tell that this author knows what a nose looks like. Sorry for the pun, I didn't even really mean to do that one, but it is very clear that, you know, professional manga artists, they know what a nose looks like, but they're choosing to stylize. And so I want beginner artists to really understand that to, you know, be inspired by manga, sure, but don't just think that's all there is to it. You actually have to understand the form behind these things. So let's go ahead and draw this nose really quickly. Again, we'll kind of develop it based on this pyramid shape because we're looking from below. You know, these two lines right here for the horizontal center line are going to be more sloped upwards, okay? And so we'll get something more along the lines of this. Sorry, my computer runs really slow when I try to stream. Okay, so go ahead and line these lines, and we can go ahead and draw the ball of the nose about right here. Okay, so these nostrils, we've seen this before, even earlier. These nostrils kind of come up like this, right? He's even got the wings of the nose kind of coming off to the side here. Okay, these people know what they're doing, even though they're simplifying. Blue Dragon says draw gone, or gone. I think it's Gon, because I think that's I'm almost positive that's Hunter x Hunter, like my favorite series. So we can, if I'm remembering correctly, his nose is like non-existent. Like he doesn't even have a nose. He just has like a little nib. But oops, my pencil changed. I don't know what happened. We'll draw Gon. You can draw all his eyes and stuff too. Right, so if you get the proportions wrong the first time, it's fine. Okay. But again, see how it's based off that form that we studied earlier. Don't ever just draw the nose just straight up. Draw some of that form first, and then dropping in these lines then becomes super easy, right? So he drew the shadow on this side, so we take that center line, guess what, and we draw the shadow on the opposite line of that center line going up to the top of the nose. And you know, it's not a perfect replication of the Dragon Ball nose, but you can see how it's based on the form, and it's very manga style. Okay, so the second one's gonna be super quick. We'll just quickly draw it. Again, think form, pyramid. We're looking down at the nose so we don't see that bottom plane. Pyramid in. After the pyramid is drawn, just go ahead and lighten those lines. Right? For Dragon Ball, he likes to draw the center line all the way down. Okay? So we do the same. This line curves back up. Super simple. And this is what I was talking about before, when some artists like to draw this line of the pyramid as the shadow line, and sometimes they will shade in that side, and sometimes they'll kind of just leave it empty and like white like that, but it can kind of just give you the form of the nose. Okay, super easy. Keep the noses simple. Don't get super detailed and complex with them unless you know it's that kind of story. And yeah, that's it guys for drawing noses. Let's look what Gon Freaks is looking like. I'm almost positive his nose is like a dot. Yeah, his nose is like a little dot. But I guess we can look at this one. You know, from the side view it looks, you know, interesting. It's like protruding. Actually, we didn't even really do any side view noses like that. I'm sorry guys. But anyways, look at his little snout is literally as simple as 1, 2. You're done. That's gone. Like, not even kidding, right? We'll do a quick Gon drawing. Gon. I'm supposed to be a Hunter x Hunter fan. I don't know how to pronounce these people's names. This is not going to be the best drawing. We're going to make it really quick. His hairline, I know people have made like videos about anime characters' hairlines, but his hairline is really funky. Like, it's really spiky. I know they're trying to show that it's like drawn back, but still kind of funny when people point out these anime characters' crazy hairlines. Okay, and because manga eyes are so big, look how the nose just sits like kind of right underneath the eye, right? And that's it. Okay, that's gone. It's gone. He isn't gone, he's gone. Alright, let's draw some spikes in for his hair. I love his character design, so simple. Kind of reminds me of Sonic, to be honest, with all his little spikes and stuff. Guys, if you have not seen this anime, I don't know, please watch it. It's really good. You won't be disappointed, I promise. I mean, it cannot be your thing. I get it if it's not your thing, but seriously though, it's like this series is so good. I think you guys will really like it if you haven't seen it already. I'm sure you guys have already seen it. It's so popular. But personally, this is my own personal opinion. I like the 1990s version. I forget the exact year it came out, but I just like the music, and the vibe is really gritty and it matches the story pretty well. So I like that, but give both of them a shot. I think the animation for the new one is incredible. So yeah, give that a shot. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time drawing Gon, and I don't know why. We're supposed to be doing other stuff. Alright. Christian James says, yeah, a lot of artists do that. They just copy, they don't understand what they're drawing. I too was one of them. LOL, anti-practice my fundamentals. Same. I remember because initially I was into American comics, and I started reading manga, and when I started drawing, I was copying from manga, and I was just copying because I didn't know about the fundamentals. No one taught me about the fundamentals, and YouTube was nothing like what it is now. And I just didn't know why they were doing what they were doing, but I was like, oh, let me just copy it. Maybe, it'll work out. Maybe it'll turn out great, and I'll figure out what I'm doing. I didn't, but as I started to learn more YouTube channels came out that were really good, at breaking stuff down. Also found more like art books that were really helpful, and so there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with copying from the beginning. You're just gaining confidence, you're just having fun. But when you actually want to start drawing from your imagination, when you want to start creating your own characters, you have to have some kind of basis and some kind of theories to be able to build off of to develop your own style. So yeah, for if there's any newbies that watch this video later, make sure you learn some fundamentals. You don't have to spend forever. I know when people talk about fundamentals, it sounds so boring, and they're like, I don't want to do that. That's going to take too long. You don't have to spend forever there. To spend like, a couple days, maybe a week, then move on, and then come back to the fundamentals, after a while, after a couple months, or after a year, the most important thing is to have fun while you're learning this stuff. Yeah. In regards to Hunter x Hunter, Christian James says, I know, right? It's a fantastic series. Fave character is Hisoka. Definitely. Definitely on board with that. I don't even really I don't like him. Like, if he was like a real character, like, I wouldn't be like besties with him, but like, I like how he makes the series so interesting and dynamic, and you have no idea what he's gonna do. But yeah, he's a great character for that. Yeah, 1999 version. Yep. Blue Dragon. I love the music from the 80s and 90s anime for sure. Blue Dragon. Yes, the soundtrack is so good, and I actually know a few songs on the piano because I just thought they were really beautiful. And no problem about the sidetracking. These streams are all about having some fun. And I like the Gon sketch that we have now. So yeah. Okay, so for the rest of the stream, guys, I am just gonna be chilling. You guys can, you know, talk about stuff in the chat or ask me random questions in the chat now. I'm just gonna be working on some artwork for Juneteenth. I wasn't really planning on it, but it was a reason to just get myself drawing something, and so I thought maybe I could just do a sketch. And so that's what we're gonna do now. Let's go ahead and show everything that we've drawn today, though. Right? We drew a whole bunch of noses in that hour in all different kinds of angles. So hopefully that was fun and informative. Now I'm working on trying to set something up where you guys can, like, if you were drawing along, then you can like post like what you drew, even if it didn't have to do with the lesson, just so, like, you know, everyone can see it and I can see it and I can show it on screen. But I don't know of a way to do that right now. I guess if you guys upload it somewhere and like put a link in the chat, then I can open it. So yeah, if there's anything you're drawing, doesn't have to be noses, you can go ahead and leave a link and I'll go ahead and check it out and throw it up on the screen. But other than that, I'm probably gonna just turn up the volume a little bit on the music, and we're just gonna be sketching and vibing. It's a chill session, so yeah, feel free to grab a drink and draw along for a good another 15-20 minutes or so. I'm currently sipping on a mango mule, and it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Also, since you're here, Blue Dragon, I will be reviewing that comic after this. I got off work, I went for a walk, I cooked some dinner, and I was like, okay, I gotta prep for stream, but I have some time after this, and I want to relax for the rest of the night anyway. I might be reading some manga. Just wanted to let you know I'm not leaving you hanging. Or the artist that did the drawing hanging. It's definitely happening. Turn lights turquoise. Well, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for dropping by. I hope to do these once every 2 weeks on Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. My schedule's just a little busy. I would like to do it every week, but I just don't think it's gonna be possible. Trying to get back in track of creating videos every Friday, every other Friday actually. So it's gonna be on and off, like video, then stream, video, then stream. We'll try to kind of keep that pace up. If I can handle more, I'll do more. If I can't handle that, I'll do less. And we'll just kind of see where it goes and just kind of have fun for it, or fun with it. But yeah, thanks guys for stopping by the stream. Hopefully everyone's having a lot of fun, repenting from their art sins, of course, and you know, finding their own art way, their own art journey. Hopefully can take away a little bit from just seeing my process live. I know I've learned so much just from seeing other artists live. And the crazy thing is that every artist approaches art differently. And you're gonna find a lot of similarities, but there's something about just seeing how an artist puts lines down on paper that helps you understand the flow and the thought process and kind of just everything going on behind it. So hopefully it's kind of the same way for you guys stopping by and learning a little bit about my process. Yo, what is up, John the Fisherman? It has been a while. Hopefully you're doing pretty good. I've been seeing you out here creating art like a madman, and it's been really impressive. So always cool to see, and it's been pumping me up to draw more again. But yeah, right now we're just chilling. Now we were drawing noses before. Now we're just gonna. I'm just working on some artwork, random artwork. If you guys are working on artwork, you know, feel free to join me. If you want me to show some of your artwork online that you're working on currently, then go ahead and post a link in the chat box, and I will show that. And if you want a harsh but gentle critique, then you can always ask for that as well. Right now I'm drawing 3 characters from my comic that I'm working on. They're gonna have different you know, importance in the story. I'm not gonna really explain who each of the characters are right now. And there's plenty more characters that still need to be drawn and character design that still need to be done, but we'll go ahead and stick with things that I've already designed, and let's go ahead and take it from there. And we're going to be drawing to about 10. Okay. There's this like text box on my screen. It's like right in the middle of my screen. Why? Let's do something. Actually, I know what might be the cause. Maybe. I don't know. My XSplit broadcaster's being really strange and lagging a lot. So hopefully you guys were able to see most of the drawings decently well. They had major lag over here. We're just gonna, I guess, gonna zoom out. Guys, I am getting some major lag right now. Depending on whether or not this lag kind of fixes itself. I may have to stop sooner rather than later. I don't want to, but I may have to if I can't get this working. But yeah, flow and tempo is very important. Oh, it's very important while drawing. Once I do some warm-ups and I'm confident, that helps me become more loose, and when I'm more loose, I can typically find a better tempo of drawing, and I can typically find a better flow while I'm drawing as well. Now, for those of you looking at this piece, you might notice that the poses look familiar, and that's because this is going to be an inspiration from One Piece. And there's a scene in One Piece in which they're leaving this friend on this island, and they're pretty much showing their arms, because there's something on their arm that represents that they're friends and that there's a bond there. So that's why they have their fists raised up in the air. It's not actually about the fist, it's about what's on their arm. But anyways, I really like this scene, and I thought it'd be a good basis for what I wanted to draw, and I wanted to pay homage to One Piece because it's one of my favorite longtime stories. Like, it's an epic that I kind of put up there with like Lord of the Rings. I really like Lord of the Rings, and I like how epic it feels. And with One Piece, it feels epic, but the thing I like about it is actually the world building, right? So, you know, as an artist, and more importantly as a writer, world building is really exciting to me. And so that's why I like that series so much. Yes, you got it right. You got it right, James. Also, yep, that's right, when they left Princess Vivi. If any of you guys want to be known as a nickname, you can type your nickname in the chat as well, and then that way when I say your name, it's not weird. It's how you want it to sound. Yes, Blue Dragon, you should definitely get into One Piece. Reading it may be easier in terms of the pacing, so you can get through it quicker. But if you want to get excited about it, there's this YouTuber that's doing reviews, and she typically does like book reviews of like novels, like actual novels and stuff. She doesn't do manga reviews, but she's been reading One Piece. I think her name is like Murphy. I forget her last name. I can maybe look it up. But she's been doing reviews of it, and her reviews and analysis. Well, I guess they're more so review. They're not really analysis. I mean, a little bit. But anyway, she's got some nice reviews of it. And yeah, I think it's a story that a lot of people shy away from because of how long it is. But once you start reading it, you kind of wish it was longer because there's just kind of so much going on. And like, I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely, you know, parts to it that like could be better, and stuff like that. But as a whole, Oda, the author of One Piece, is a pretty strong writer. And if you like drama, if you like adventure, there's not too much in the lane of romance. I mean, I guess they're all in love with the adventure, right? But if you like a lot of drama, if you like a lot of emotional type of stuff, as well as like really good character writing, then you're probably gonna like a lot of One Piece stuff. And also, I think the creator of Steven Universe really liked One Piece, and so she was saying how many references she kind of brought in from One Piece. So if you're a fan of Steven Universe, you gotta give One Piece a shot. So I apologize for this drawing, guys, because my computer is really lagging, and so like I can barely make these lines. So it's not gonna look so good, probably. I'm wondering if I could speed my computer up by closing some more stuff out. Let's try closing some more tabs. See if that helps at all. Okay, I've pretty much closed everything on my computer down, so if this does not fix this lag, then we're just gonna go for a couple more minutes, unfortunately. You know, I still need to watch Sailor Moon. I feel kind of bad that I haven't seen it, because it's like a classic, right? I haven't seen it yet. There's a few classics that I still need to get, to. One I just started today. It's called Gintama, and I've had that one recommended to me for a little while, and I was looking for something kind of comedic to watch, and that kind of came up pretty high. Now, the second thing that I need to watch is Inuyasha. I started watching that one. Oh, nice. So you started reading Gintama, I take it? James asked, have you watched Slam Dunk? I have not watched Slam Dunk. I've read just a few pages of it because I was really into iShield 21, and I was like, you know what, I should start reading other sports manga. And everyone was like, Slam Dunk's really good, and I started reading it. And it wasn't that there was anything wrong with it. I had just like stopped reading like manga at that point. And so, no, I have not watched the anime. I've read only just a little bit of the manga, but I'm gonna get to that one too. I'm gonna add that to my list. I literally just created an anime manga list just today because I keep on getting recommendations and I keep forgetting them. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna write them down. I'm gonna write them down so I can get to them. So yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Oh guys, this lag is killing me. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put this pen down because I literally can't even draw a stroke without it lagging for like a whole 30 seconds. But really, I appreciate it, everyone coming along to chill with me in chat and to draw. I love joining other people's drawing streams, so if you got a drawing stream and I don't know about it, let me know about it. I'll come and chill and draw with you guys. Most of the people here, like I've seen before, I've talked to, and it's always great seeing you guys around. Always good energy. I'm always down for like one-on-one type drawing sessions too. Well, I shouldn't say always because I don't have time, but like if I have time and I'm like drawing and working on a piece, I'm always down for that. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I enjoyed this stream. Thank you for those anime and manga recommendations for all you listeners out there. You've got some recommendations for things to read and watch and to analyze so you can make your comic even better. So again, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. Until next time, peace and love. And yes, James, before I go ahead and quit out, I am using Photoshop, but I do not necessarily recommend Photoshop because it's expensive and you can really get away with other drawing programs like easily. But there's some things in Photoshop that are nice. I'm not gonna completely dog on it. Just, you know, figure out what you need or talk to me about what you need, and I'll let you know if Photoshop is the way to go. But yeah, anyways, it's been super fun, guys. Until next time, keep creating art, keep creating comics, keep having fun, most importantly, and take it easy, chill, relax, and enjoy your night. And peace, deuces.